Hi everyone, welcome to Magic Day. In this episode, we are over at Disney California Adventure, and we're going to run over and check out Disney Animation Academy, which is a lot of fun. You'll be able to draw pictures with actual Disney artists, and it's a lot of fun because they do a lot of the animated characters. So, if you guys want to draw, come join us tonight. What you'll need is grab a pencil and a piece of paper or sketch paper, and we would love to see your art. And if you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe and sign up for our channel. And then if you like the video, give us a big thumbs up. That helps us out. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. The notification bell will give you notification every time we upload a new video. Thanks for joining us.
Alright, and right here is the Animation Academy board. This tells you what characters you will be drawing at what times. The times are going to be above the characters. So you can plan out if you want to draw this character here, or this character there. Or if you're just like, I just need to get in and beat the heat, this is a really great place to go. You can just sit down, relax, draw for 30 minutes, and then you can head over to Turtle Talk with Crush, or you can go to the Sorcerer's Workshop, or you can just sit in the building and just watch the animation screens around you. So let's go ahead and draw a Disney character together.
Drawing board. Yes. Are we all gonna bring me back a churro after we leave? Yeah. I'm gonna get so many churros. The best day ever. All right. Well, as everybody's kind of getting settled in, I do want to officially welcome everybody to the Animation Academy. My name is Sam. I am a Disney artist here to teach you how to draw one of our classic Disney characters. And we are doing something really fun for this class because we are focusing on 100 years of Disney. So for this class, yes! And for this class, we're going to be drawing, or we're going to be focusing on a very specific decade of animation. That is the 50s. So the character that we are going to be drawing for this class is Lady from Lady and the Tramp. So fun. All right. Well, I know everybody's like, oh, so cute. Well, just a couple things to go over before we begin our class. On the way in, you met my friend Thomas. He's already up there doing his thing. But he's another amazing Disney artist. He's also going to be here to help you out. So if your pencil breaks, it rolls underneath the seat in front of you, if you need some life advice, just raise your hand up until one of us can see you. We can help you out. And if you need to exit the show early, everybody look up there. Thomas is demonstrating. You got to use all of your Hercules strength to push open that door. That will take you back to the courtyard. All right, with that, on to the good stuff. Is anybody here for their first time ever today at the English Academy? So many of us. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Well, so great to see all of you. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. Wow, I'm so excited. Okay, well, for all of our new artists, you're going to notice we're missing something on the ends of our pencils. What are we missing? An eraser. Yes, we don't have any erasers on the ends of our pencils, but actually, if you take a look right underneath your seat, right in the bottom of where you're sitting, kind of in the middle of those benches, if you look down there, you'll find absolutely nothing. We do not have any erasers anywhere in this classroom, but it's okay. Because this is a rough sketch class, and all that means is that we're going to be starting our lines really light and sketchy. So just start everything super light. I promise I'll let you know when we're going to go back in and make things a little bit darker. So with that, are we ready to draw a lady? Yeah. All right, awesome. Let's do it. I love the enthusiasm from this class. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. All right. Now, Lady is going to start with a circle. We are going to be drawing her kind of from like a side view perspective. We're going to be seeing the side of her face. So up towards the top of my page, I'm going to start by drawing in a circle here. I'm locking my wrists and my elbow and using my whole shoulder here to build up this shape. I can't draw perfect circles on my first try, so instead I'm using a whole bunch of these messy, sketchy circles to build up that shape nice and light. From here, I'm going to go about a third of the way up from the bottom of my circle and add in a guideline. These guidelines are going to help me as I place in the features on Lady's face. And this particular one, I'm going to extend out a little bit to the left-hand side of my circle there. Still keeping everything super, super light. light. I'm just blocking in the basic shapes right now. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of lady's snout. So from the end of my line here, I'm going to pull up a diagonal line to meet right back up with the side of my circle there. And then I'm going to block out the shape for her snout. So I'm using all these really simple diagonal lines right now. And then I'll go back in there and make it a bit more refined. I'm going to add in a little diagonal line going down towards the bottom corner of my page. And then I'll go ahead and connect that back into the bottom of my circle. That's going to be the basic shape for her snout. And at this point, I can start to actually add in a few more details. I'm going to start with her nose right here on the end of this little like boxy shape I added in there. I like to think of this as kind of like a little question mark shape, pulling down from the top and then going down along the front of the shape. Or maybe like a letter S shape is probably a better way to describe it. It's like a really stretched out letter S. And then to make sure I'm not getting this really sharp, pointy right angle, I'm going to go ahead and round out the outer shape. So it kind of looks like a little comma or like a little teardrop once you put it all together. That'll be the first feature in my drawing. I'm going to go ahead and lock in. If you've never drawn with us here before, you might not have ever heard that term, locking it in. That just means I'm going back in here and picking my favorite line so that it stands out above my sketchy lines. With that being said, this is actually the only place in the entire Disneyland resort where you're encouraged to be just a little bit sketchy. Yeah, kind of crazy. From here, I'm going to start to work on the features of a lady's face. I'm going to add in this really soft, really light oval sitting here towards the front of her face. This is basically just going to give us a nice area to work in once we start defining the shapes around her eye. I'm going to really lightly sketch in that oval there. And from the front of this oval, I'm going to bring down another one of those kind of curvy letter S shapes. This is going to give us the line that is kind of the definition between her snout and the rest of her face. She has a little bit of different colored fur on her muzzle. So this is basically just going to show us where one color ends and the other color begins. So I'll go ahead and lock that line in as well. And then I can actually bring her smile from her nose into that line. It'll basically function as her cheek as well. So I'm going to pull down this little letter U shape from that letter S curve to the front of her muzzle there. Once I have something I like in place for that, I can go ahead and lock in the shape of her muzzle and blend that together with the smile line I just added in there. Now, what an incredible film this is. I do, of course, have to talk a little bit about some of the things that inspired this film. Now, something that particularly inspired this character of Lady, there was actually a writer at Disney by the name of Joe Grant, and he had a Cocker Spaniel named Lady. And he actually showed some sketches that he had done of his dog, Lady, to Walt. And Walt told him to maybe write up a little storyboard, a little story about his dog, about his character, Lady. Now, a little bit later on down the line, that project actually did get shelved, and it wasn't until Walt Disney came across a story called Happy Dan, and he kind of thought that maybe if he blended the two stories together, the storyboards about the Cocker Spaniel as well as Happy Dan, that it would kind of create a stronger story. So he ended up going more along the lines of a blended story. I'm going to bring down a little C curve from the bottom of her smile there to give her a lower lip, or the lower piece of her jaw. And I can lock that in all the way back to the bottom of this circle as well. Now at this point, Lady is looking like she has seen some things out there, right? Like, I mean, that's what she looks like when she gets lost, for sure. So we're going to come in here and start to actually place in her eye inside of this oval. So it's going to sit right inside our oval. I like to start with a little rainbow shape, nice in line, about halfway down my oval here. And then I'm going to bring down another curve right below it. So it kind of looks like a backwards letter C shape. But as I'm locking this in, I do want to really define this top line. I'm going to go back in there here, go over it a couple times with my pencil, as well as go back in and add some lashes in here. We want to give her a nice, beautiful lash line. Lady does have some really beautiful lashes here. Sometimes I'm like really jealous of them. I'm like, this girl looks like she's wearing CoverGirl. What is it? Alright, I'm gonna add in a few more lashes. Don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to make her look like she's wearing falsies, but we'll add in a few. And then we can go ahead and add in her pupil to really wake her up. You can get super creative with this. Maybe you want to give her a heart in her eye, a star in her eye. Maybe you want to draw some spaghetti in there. Maybe she's during that spaghetti scene. Something really crazy to me is that is like the major scene that I think about. Every time I think about Lady and the Tramp, like that is the first thing that comes to mind. And that was almost not in the movie. You're like, what are you talking about, Sam? Yeah, no, actually, when they were working on the idea for that, it was actually one of the artists that came to Walt Disney and kind of pitched that idea. And Walt Disney did not think that that was going to work out very well. He just like didn't really see, how that was going to be super romantic or anything. He was really against that. He just could not wrap his brain around like two dogs romantically sharing spaghetti. And then I think it was one of like the artists or writers actually went home to try and like see what that would look like. And yeah, it did not end very well. Like it was not very pretty. So they definitely had to take some artistic liberties with that and figure out how to make it look a little bit nicer in the movie. Now for my drawing of Lady, I'm going to come back in here and add in a little bit of a brow line here towards the front of her face. I'm going to make it a little bit more of this like 90-degree angle. I'll go ahead and lock that in once I have something I like. Just blending that shape into the top of her head there. And then I also want to go ahead and lock in a little bit of the top of this oval here. This is going to act as pretty much her eyebrow here. You don't have to go too crazy on it, make it too thick or anything, because Lady is definitely rocking those like early 2000s pencil thin brows for sure. There we go. Alright, now with her eyebrow in place, I'm going to go ahead and add in a really light outline for the rest of her body here so that she's not just a floating head in the middle of our page. I'm going to add in a letter S curve here. This is going to act as the front of her body. And I'll pull off another soft curvy line towards the back here. That will get covered up in just a little bit by her ear there, but it'll just give me a nice placement for where I know the back of the shape of her head is. And then we can go ahead and kind of block in the shape for her ear here. She does have those really beautiful, long, wavy Cocker Spaniel ears. So I like to start up here towards the back of her head with a big rainbow. This is the part where you want to start really, really lightly as you're kind of searching for this shape. And you can always go back in and make things a little bit, or like change them up a little bit if you need to, as long as you're starting nice and light. That's the best part about rough sketching, is that if you really want to change anything, you can totally do that as long as you're staying really nice and light. So I'm just adding in a few of these little wavy lines. There is no right or wrong way to do this. This is where you can kind of freestyle it, get super creative with it. Add in lots of those little curves and letter C shapes. And then as I'm locking in this shape, all my wiggly lines for her ears, I'm going to add in a little bit of texture to it. Because again, it is really hairy, right? We want to show that a little bit. We want to show all that fur that she is covered in. So as I'm locking this in, I'm going to add in maybe some little shark fin shapes. I'm going to add in some little lines where they're kind of crossing each other. That way it looks a little bit more like the texture of hair. But again, maybe you have your own way of drawing in hair. Maybe you draw your hair the way that Tim Burton does, where you use all kinds of just little tiny scratchy lines all around everything. Go for it. You are more than welcome to do that if that is how you want to add in the hair for your drawing of ladies. Now, something that is also really sweet about this film is that the part of the movie where Lady is actually given to her owner for Christmas was actually inspired by Walt Disney, and he actually one year gave his wife Lillian Disney a little chow puppy in the very same way inspired by real life. It's a really beautiful story, and I think it's so cute to know that there's so many little sweet moments in here that were like actually inspired by, moments in Walt Disney's life. All right, once I've got these ears all locked in place the way I want them, I'm gonna add a little bit more texture down here at the bottom. Maybe I'll add in some little curvy letter V shapes, some little shark fin shapes or blades of grass, just to make it look like all this hair kind of gathering at the bottom. And then I do want to add in a little bit of her other ear here. We're going to see a little bit of her other ear kind of popping out from the other side of her head. I'll just bring this right back in. And again, I'll do the same thing, locking in all my little rainbows and curves and adding just a little bit of texture to it. All right, now the final thing we are going to need to add on for our drawing of Lady here is going to be a little collar for her. So right on top of her neck, I'm just going to add in 2 soft letter U shapes. Connect that together with a little curvy rectangle. And then we want to add on the actual little collar bit. So I'm going to add a little diamond just sitting right down here on her chest. And anything that is not being covered up by those pieces of her collar, we can also go back in there and lock that in as well. So any of these pieces of her neck, her chest, maybe add in a little texture. There we go. Go ahead and finish closing off the top of her head there if you haven't already done that. But with that, anything else that you want to add onto your drawing of Lady is going to be extra credit and totally up to you. I like to do a little bit of shading here with my pencil. Kind of using it like a crayon. I'll take it on the side and add a bit of shading. Like I said, her muzzle is a little bit of a lighter fur color. So right behind that letter S curve, I'll shade in all that space and then a little bit down to her chest. And then her ears are that slightly darker orange color. So I'll do a little bit of a darker shade on her ears. But the very last mark that any artist absolutely needs on their drawing is going to be your signature. So find somewhere on your page to sign your beautiful masterpiece nice and big and proud, because you have just created your very own portrait of the most beautiful little doggy. It's Lady. With that, how did we do, everybody? Okay, like a delayed reaction. A lot of us are like still very focused shading up there. Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds as we're finishing up our shading, and then whether you're done or not, I want everybody to flip those boards around and hold them up nice and proud. We're gonna have a little dog show on the count of 3. Ready, everybody? 1, 2, 3. Lady! These are beautiful! Oh my goodness, great job down here in the front row. The shading, oh my goodness, the attention to detail. There's a little line work on that one. Oh my gosh, beautiful up here in the second, or in the 4th row. Great job up here in the back. Oh my gosh, so amazing. I would love to get any of these puppies as a gift. Oh my gosh. You can go ahead and give yourself a huge round of applause. These all came out absolutely fantastic. Those drawings are for you to keep and take home with you, so take those off your board. Take them home with you. Thanks so much for joining us here today, everybody. I hope you had fun, and class is dismissed. Have a good one.
All about it. Great.
I hope you guys had so much fun drawing at the Animation Academy with us. I always love to do this because it's just so relaxing. It is just so nice to do. If you guys want to, feel free to share us your drawings if you drew along on our Instagram and our DMs _.magicday._ and we would love to see what you guys drew, and if you want, we could even repost it on our story if you're feeling good with it.
Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed Animation Academy as much as we do, sitting down and drawing with the animators and always able to see everyone's pictures. So don't forget, as Faith mentioned, to submit your artwork. We'd love to be able to see your drawings. And thanks again for tuning in and watching our channel and letting us come into your home. And if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and then give us a big thumbs up if you guys like the video. That always helps us out. We sure appreciate you guys. And don't forget to have a magic day. Thanks for watching.